welcoming in the Seahawks, who are in prime position atop the NFC West. Who makes a statement at Lincoln Financial Field tonight? All the latest on who to expect at quarterback for Philly in moments. A busy Sunday in Week 12. So much to get to. Dan Orlovsky, what stuck out to you?
The fact that Patrick Mahomes got a $500 million deal this offseason, it's probably not enough. I mean, the talent that is so special. He makes this offense not good, not great, but historically unstoppable. The Chiefs got a deal giving a guy $500 million, and he's my most favorite player to watch in all of the NFL.
Las Vegas Raiders, what the hell happened? Turnovers galore, 43-6 to the Atlanta Falcons. Now listen, I knew the Falcons could put up offensive numbers and output, but this is ridiculous. Just last week, we were talking about teams being afraid to play you guys, and then you get a 40-burger hung on you.
Last night's game wasn't a thriller, but I wanted to give some credit to the Packers offense because the Bears defense is good. Next Gen Stats has a cool stat called expected completion percentage, which is what a quarterback should be completing based on where his receivers are. Rodgers was supposed to complete 73% of his passes last night. That's the most in the NFL. Credit to the play caller, Matt LaFleur. That was a masterpiece.
Well, the MRI today revealed that Daniel Jones, the Giants quarterback, has a strained right hamstring. He will be considered week to week going forward. And if he cannot play next week, just as he couldn't finish the game yesterday, that would mean that Colt McCoy would come on and start for the Giants. And also today, the 49ers said that they will be moving to Arizona for their next couple of home games starting next Monday night against the Buffalo Bills. We'll see when the 49ers decide to leave San Francisco due to the fact that Santa Clara County is restricting the contact that sports can have for the next few weeks, even though the NFL says there's been no evidence of transmission on the field of the virus. Santa Clara County is basically shutting down football in that area, and so the 49ers will be on the move to Arizona, Laura.
Adam Schefter with us all show long. The latest news around the league, of course. Welcome to NFL Live, everybody. Coming up later, the reasons why the Bucs aren't using Tom Brady correctly. Dan Orlovsky, Mina Kimes, resident lifeline here, Marcus Spears, and Adam Schefter. And let's get right back to Adam with a developing story, this coronavirus outbreak amongst the Ravens, and this Ravens-Steelers game still in jeopardy, Adam.
Laura, let's bring you the very latest right now. The Ravens players are still waiting to hear when or even if they will be leaving for Pittsburgh. The team would have gone today for the game tomorrow night, but I'm told that the NFL, the Ravens, they are all waiting for the latest rounds of test results to come back. If there are no more positive tests, then there would be a chance that tomorrow night's game still could be played. But the sense and the tone that you're getting right now is that it's going to be increasingly difficult to play this game. And if it does not get played, and if it is postponed, that really becomes the most significant postponement of the season. Yes, the NFL's had other postponements earlier in the year, but that was before teams had bye weeks. The NFL had flexibility then that it will not have right now. And so we are waiting for the very latest word on whether that game tomorrow night will be played. With each hour that passes, I think the chances increase that it won't be played. But again, there's no final word. There is no decision right now. And we are still waiting for the very latest. And when we have it, Laura, we will certainly bring it to you.
Yeah, keep it locked right here for all of that information. Like Adam said, we'll bring it right to you the second that we have it. Marcus, should these teams, the Ravens and Steelers, be playing tomorrow night?
Hell no. It's simple. It's a simple answer. No. Listen, this is a number that we haven't seen in the league, and I get it. The NFL wants to trudge ahead. Obviously, there are ramifications, especially for the Steelers, that quite frankly, they don't deserve to be a victim of this as far as not getting paid if the game is canceled or pushed back. But the bottom line is you have a depletion of an organization, and it's hit the team more so, I think, than any other particular situation we've had all season long. We're talking about 20-something odd guys not being able to dress, suit up, and play in the game in the NFL. So not only is that, look, we could talk about why they are at this point. Obviously, there will be disciplinary stuff happening already. But the bottom line is it is more, you put players more in danger when you talk about lack of numbers and depth and trying to play a game as well. So there's a lot of things why this game shouldn't be played. But the main one is you don't have enough people.
I get that. You bring a lot of good points up. Don't forget they expanded the practice squad rosters. I don't know if the NFL had preparations or a thought process that 20-plus players could and would potentially test positive. But my pushback to you, Marcus, would be this. The Ravens, from what we've heard, this breakout started from a coach making a poor decision, exposing himself, and now it's spread throughout their football team. Why would they be, I don't want to be like sent a lifeline, so to speak, but like why would they be allowed to have their game postponed, but some of the other teams that have had minor outbreaks not be allowed to play the game? We saw the Broncos yesterday. We saw the Titans earlier this season. Why? Because it's a certain number? Like, is there verbiage in the new CBA that determined a certain number of players then wouldn't be allowed to play? That means the game gets postponed. Why does the Steelers season have to be completely in flux because of a poor decision within someone in the Ravens organization? So I get your point. I don't think there could be so many one-offs in this case.
Let's bring Adam back in for more context here. Yeah. Adam, go ahead.
Well, Laura, here's the situation, basically. It's all about identification, isolation, and containment. And the league felt like it had that in Denver when it let the Broncos play on Sunday, despite the fact that the Broncos petitioned the league to move the game to Tuesday, which the league denied. In this particular case, the league has been unable to contain the virus. Each time the league thought the virus was contained, it has not been. And so I think there are people who would be uncomfortable getting on that team plane tonight or tomorrow to fly to Pittsburgh when there are over 20 players on reserve COVID at this point in time in Baltimore. If the league feels like it's got the virus under control, this game will go on. If the league doesn't feel that way, it won't. And it's that simple right now, and it explains why Baltimore-Pittsburgh has been pushed back twice and why the Broncos and Saints were ordered to play on Sunday.
Yeah, Adam, to your point, everybody is at the mercy of the virus to react, which we can't control. You mentioned the Broncos. They were forced to play without a quarterback Sunday against the Saints. Their entire quarterback room deemed high risk after not wearing protocol once Jeff Driscoll tested positive. Here's Vic Fangio with more.
Well, I was disappointed on a couple levels in that our quarterbacks put us in this position, our quarterbacks put the league in that position. We count on them to be the leaders of the team and, leaders of the offense. And those guys made a mistake, and that is disappointing.
So Drew Lock did release an apology on Twitter. One of these Broncos quarterbacks, supposed to be the starter, in a controlled and socially distanced area. He said, "We let our masking slip for a limited amount of time, an honest mistake, but one I will own. I sincerely apologize and fully understand why these safety precautions are so important. Doing the right thing for the majority of the time is not good enough." Mina, this forced practice squad wide receiver Kendall Hinton into action at quarterback, something that certainly he didn't ask for. What did you make of that Broncos game yesterday?
Laura, I understand what Adam said earlier about the league, why this game happened. There wasn't an outbreak. It's not necessarily a given that the quarterback position should be treated differently. But I watched that game, and it should not have happened. Kendall Hinton, first of all, deserves all of the credit in the world because what he did was extremely difficult and impressive and, frankly, brave. So good for him. But like Vic Fangio said, he should not have been put in that position, not only by his teammates, I don't know who broke the rules or when or what, but also by the National Football League, because this was not a football game. It wasn't. And I know people are saying, well, the Patriots had to play without Cam, and the Niners had to play without, their team, half their team was missing, and we can't just change the standards on the fly. But guess what? This is the pandemic. You have to be open to changing the standards on the fly. And frankly, the NFL should have baked this in to the schedule. They should have been cognizant of the fact that situations like this would have arisen and prepared for the possibility that the season would have had to go on longer.
Yeah, it really is interesting because continually the reports have all said that the NFL is not interested in an extended season, but we'll keep an eye on it. Right. After a 200-yard first quarter and the 3-touchdown afternoon is Tyreek Hill proving that he's the best wide receiver in the game. Plus, Derrick Henry ran all over the Colts yesterday as the Titans took control of the AFC South. Someone here mad at himself for not giving King Henry more love. That and so much more next. NFL Live is presented by T-Mobile. With America's largest 5G network, T-Mobile is your ticket to the game, coast to coast. Students of NFL Primetime with Boomer and Booger, Sundays at 7:30 Eastern, only on ESPN+. This show available to stream each week, Monday through Wednesday, on any device you choose. To get ESPN+, download the app or go to espnplus.com. Back to Week 12 action. You know, they call him King Henry for a reason. I really think I saw him wearing a crown barreling over people yesterday. Let's get to it. Titans versus Colts. Dan Orlovsky. First quarter no score. Derrick Henry getting it rolling.
A little bit of a pitch to get to the perimeter outside. That's 260-pound stiff arm. Just a really good job of them attacking all angles of the field in their run game.
Later in that drive, Henry gets the ball in space, touchdown.
Kind of the same thing, just kind of a throw where you got blockers out in front. It's a walk-in touchdown for Henry.
Second quarter, game tied right here, outside run. And of course, he's going to score.
Again, another theme, capturing the edge, gaining the perimeter of the defense, and this is a beautiful job. Front side, clean up, backside, with great vision by Henry, and then the ability to break through some of those arm tackles.
He gets better as the game goes along, and here, later in that drive, breaking a few tackles there, scoring the touchdowns. 3 touchdowns in the game, Titans win 45-26, and this was Derrick Henry's third career game with 175 yards and 3 scores on the ground. Hey, by the way, only Jim Brown and LaDainian Tomlinson have had more, and since Ryan Tannehill took over Week 7 last season, Henry's led the league in almost every rushing category, including yards before and after contact. With the win, by the way, our Football Power Index gives the Titans an 88% chance to take the AFC South. Huge, crucial win for them. Dan, what do you think about this Titans rushing attack?
I mean, you either feel pressure or you apply pressure. And this is an offense, while they're not this juggernaut throwing the ball, they apply pressure with their run game. And that's why I love them so much. Look at front side. To be good front side, you got to have a hat on a hat, and you got to capture leverage. Get inside those defenders. That's great. But how about the second level? Again, the placement of where your helmet is in relation to where the defender is creates this huge seam 7 yards before you ever get touched. Now, you got to be good on the front side, great on the backside in the run game. Motion your tight end to a fullback position. Pressure's going to come off the slot. When you blitz, defensive linemen are going to slant. I just need one guy to shut off one of those slants. Left guard, Roger Saffold, get your guy on the ground. That's good on the front side. Saffold, be great on the backside. Look at that one cut, makes it happen. Throw out in space. And again, you see vision by Derrick Henry to make him one of those special backs in the NFL. I said it before, you either feel pressure or you apply pressure. Yesterday's game is kind of one of the reasons why I love the Titans and I love their play caller, Arthur Smith, and their run game. I know the Colts were missing people. So were the Titans. Down 2 left tackles. Their left guard was questionable. Their center was questionable. They don't care. Their run game is as dominant as it needs to be, and that's why one of the reasons why I think they're a favorite in the AFC.
Yeah, you can go crazy when you got a cyborg at running back. And 2, let me mention this before I talk more about Derrick Henry. DeForest Buckner is not getting paid enough, and Danico Autry being out was huge in this game. DeForest should have the quarterback salary on this team based on what we watched the Indianapolis Colts give up in that game in rushing. And listen, guys, the only way, and I know a lot of people, might be the first time people hear this, only way you stop great backs is your defensive line creates a new line of scrimmage. Your defensive line is not being cut on the backside. Athletic defensive linemen are more important to stopping the run than anything in football. Now, to the other side, Derrick Henry should be in the MVP conversation, and he should be right there with Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes. And he's on pace to finish with 1,800 yards. He's at 12 now, averaging 4.9 a carry. But beside the numbers, that's Mina's thing. When you ask anybody watching in this league, and yeah, we know Mahomes, we know the importance of Aaron Rodgers. Can we honestly say that Derrick Henry is not as important to the Tennessee Titans as those 2 guys that I just mentioned? I'll be hard-pressed to find a reason why he's not.
Mina's a little skeptical, but we're going to move to one other thing because, Mina, you've got more to say about this Titans offense than just Derrick Henry. What else impressed you yesterday?
Yeah, we'll save the MVP debate for another day. I mean, we're going to talk about Patrick Mahomes later. But, look, I changed my pick at the last second on Friday. Marcus, you were there. I was with the Colts. And then we got the news that DeForest Buckner was out. And I panicked at the last second and changed it. And my goodness, was that a very fortunate change because we saw, like, sometimes it takes a game where a player doesn't play, where you realize how valuable he was. I mean, there's a reason why Chris Ballard went out and traded a first to get DeForest Buckner. He wanted that 3-tech who could be disruptive against the pass and stop the run in his scheme, and he has been excellent all year. Certainly felt his absence. What I didn't anticipate was that losing left tackle Anthony Costanzo went down after the first 2 drives would happen and also completely obliterate what the Colts were doing on offense. I mean, look at these stats. This is with Costanzo before he went out, 8.3 yards per play, down to 4.2 without him. It was a completely different game, but I want to emphasize something. Dan made a very good point earlier when he said, yes, this was a game heavily impacted by injuries and players who were absent because of COVID, but the Titans had just as many guys out. They were down to their backup left tackle, David Questenberry. Jan Brown was out, Jadeveon Clowney was out. They transcended those absences, and that's why they won the game.
Yeah, a couple of us didn't panic like you, Mina, and stayed with the Colts.
Wow, listen to you guys just patting yourselves on the back so
we had the wrong pick, though. But I will say this about the Colts. They're down, they're not out. Our Football Power Index believes they have a 12% chance to win the AFC South, but a 48% chance to make the postseason, so we'll see. How about this? Panthers DB Jeremy Chinn showed the fighting spirit on Sunday. Early in the third quarter, Chinn scooped up a fumble, returned it for a touchdown. On the very next snap, you guys, for the Vikings, Chinn did it again, returning another fumble for a Panthers touchdown. Chinn, only the 3rd player ever to return 2 fumbles for scores, and the first since 1948. My goodness. All right, with reports of Jalen Hurts getting first-team reps. Very intriguing game tonight on Monday Night Football. For more, let's check in at the Domino's pregame headquarters with Adam Schefter. Adam, what do we know about the Eagles' QB situation with Carson Wentz and Jalen Hurts?
Laura, there's a lot of chatter about this, but the truth of the matter is the Eagles have been doing just what they've been doing the last month, having Jalen Hurts take some reps during practice, as he's done for the last month. He's not starting tonight. It's not all that different. The only slight difference is this past week at practice, Jalen Hurts worked on some plays in which he threw passes when Carson Wentz wasn't on the field. But he took reps at practice this week the same way that he's done that for the last 5 or 6 weeks. I think there are some people who think that he could be starting, he could be replacing Wentz. The way it has been explained to me by various people is that it's the same thing that has been going on in Philadelphia for the last 5 or 6 weeks.
Yeah, it's hard not to have a little smile when stating that news there. About 3.5 hours away from Monday Night Football. We'll get to see it in person, see exactly what goes on. Adam, stay right there. We're coming back to you momentarily. Doug Peterson, by the way, has reiterated Carson's 100% our guy. But, Mina, is it the right time to maybe get Jalen Hurts a little more involved in this Eagles offense?
No, I actually don't think it's the right time to get him a little more involved. I think it might be the right time to get him a lot more involved, but you have to make a decision either way, right? Like what they've been doing and perhaps might be doing a little bit more based on what you believe is sprinkling him intermittently in the game, not giving him an entire series, hoping for some juice the way Taysom Hill occasionally would give juice to the Saints offense. But this isn't the Saints offense. Like, tinkering around the margins isn't going to help the Eagles. That's like taking a bad song and just playing some tambourine on top of it. It's not helpful. If they want to see what they have in Jalen Hurts, let him play a game or let him play an entire half. I don't really see how mixing him intermittently helps anyone.
Well, listen, bearer of bad news must enter the chat, okay? First, two things can be true. We can identify all of the stuff that's going on around Carson Wentz and acknowledge the fact that he's playing with a tough deck of cards. That's number one. Offensive line, requisite weapons on the outside, play calling by the coach. We all agree on that. The second thing is this, all right? Carson Wentz has sucked. And that's why we're having this conversation. That's the bottom line. That's the truth. And the real reason it's relevant is because the NFC East sucks. So you don't go to Jalen Hurts to further my point because unbeknownst to people that's living under a rock, they can still win their division. And the person that gives you the best shot to do that is Carson Wentz. Now, I agree. I like the fact that Jalen Hurts is getting more reps because if you see Carson go out and he's abysmal, at least you can say we gave Jalen Hurts some reps if you have to go that way and make an in-game adjustment. But the bottom line is this, and then I'm going to get a floor to his brother, Dan Orlovsky. If Carson Wentz was not a $100 million quarterback, these conversations wouldn't be as intense. Such is life in the NFL. Such is life for a quarterback. All right. So now that he has his money, we expect him to lift a lot of those things we say that he's lacking. He's not. So in response, Jalen Hurts has the potential to play. Go ahead, Dan Orlovsky.
All right, let's make something very clear. This is the most important month this season for the Eagles. There's their 4 toughest games. If they want any chance to win this division that's beat up, they need Carson Wentz to take the great majority of the snaps, and he needs to have his best football that he's had all year. Now, what does that look like? Going to the game tonight that'll kick off in about 3 hours. First of all, run more plays that I call Siri, C-I-R-I. Call it, run it. Just get to the line of scrimmage and just call plays and run them. Don't spend so much time trying to operate in perfection. Don't break the huddle with 10 seconds left and have no chance. Get to the line of scrimmage, take a mental breather, just call plays and go operate them. Let their instincts and reactions take over. Number 2, get Miles Sanders out in space. He's actually a very, very good player. Get him a minimum of 15 to 17 touches tonight out in space. Number 3, use Jalen Reagor as an actual wide receiver. He can do it. He's not just a gadget guy. Utilize him in a bunch of different routes. Number 4, at least 10 times tonight, get Carson Wentz out of the pocket. At least 10, not scrambles, designed out of the pocket. That allows him to create offense for you guys. It allows him to play free. It gets him into the game, especially early on. Now going to Jalen Hurts. I got no problem using Jalen Hurts some, but it has to be situationally. 3rd and 3 or less. 3rd and 3 or less. Maybe you bring him on the field, get Carson Wentz off. You can play 11-on-11 football. You can use some of the zone read. Down in the red zone, which you haven't been good on. Down in the red zone, 11-on-11 football, zone read, RPO, quarterback run. This is Carson Wentz's offense. He's got to play good football.
All right, 3.5 hours away from Monday Night Football. Keep it right here on ESPN for that. We have a developing story right now happening in the NFL. Let's bring Adam Schefter back in for that. What's going on, Adam?
Laura, I'm told that the NFL is now considering a 3rd postponement to the Ravens-Steelers game. It's already moved the game from Thanksgiving to Sunday to Tuesday tomorrow night. That is now being scheduled, but I understand that basically it could be moved to later this week. And so the NFL continues to do everything it can to try to get this game played at any point in time. So it still could be this week, which would lead to other questions, of course. What would happen to the Steelers game in Week 13? What would happen to the Ravens game in Week 13? But it's possible that both teams could be playing a second game on a short week. But one of the moves that the league is considering right now is moving this game out of the Tuesday night slot to later this week. Maybe Wednesday, maybe Thursday. We'll see how it plays out. But that is certainly being discussed. It is on the table right now.
Yeah, just one reminder, too. There's no Thursday night game because Ravens-Cowboys moved to next Monday. So you never know. Thursday could be an open slot right there for a spot for this Ravens-Steelers game. We'll keep you updated on every single thing. So, thanks so much, Adam, for all the latest there.
And have hands, sir. We can run, ma'am. We can do a lot of the things that the little guys do on the football field. And the Big Swagoo is just here to remind everybody there's a reason why we play D-line, because we're big men who ball and we're athletes. That's your big man balling this week. Everybody call your in-laws. Javon Kinlaw scored a touchdown.
All your in-laws. I love it.
The best.
Smith & Smith. Shout out to them.
Car accident lawyers.
Let's do a little dance
go.
for the big men before we go to our next thing. I'm not going to do it by myself. Come on, everybody. All right, Marcus, get in there. Okay, we're done. Anyway, you may have missed this as it happened around the middle of the second quarter of the Bears and Packers games last night, but our Mina Kimes had $1 million moment on national TV. Take a look at this.
Let's go.
I really wanted to go this far without calling my friend Mina Kimes. I am going to ask her, and hopefully she knows the answer to this. All right, Mina. Although he and his wife never touched a light switch for fear of being shocked, who was the first president to have electricity in the White House? Ulysses S. Grant, Benjamin Harrison, Chester A. Arthur, or Andrew Johnson? Grant, Harrison,
Grant.
Arthur, Johnson.
That would be the 1800s. I think it's probably Harrison.
Her words were, "It's probably Harrison."
I'm going to go final answer. B, Benjamin Harrison, final answer. God, no.
Just won you $1 million for your charity. David Chang makes history. The first celebrity contestant to win $1 million for his charity on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Mina, we won $1 million. We did it.
Congratulations. Oh, my God.
Can you believe this? How proud is your mom going to be? Unbelievable.
Oh, my God. I can't wait for her to see this. Finally, my college education is justified.
Oh, Mina.
It's not justified by NFL Live.
Hey,
I'll tell you
don't
that.
rip on us that way. Hey, we're really smart here. Mina, I got to ask you, how nervous were you as David Chang, the chef, calls you up and you're his lifeline to try to win $1 million for charity, no less?
I'll just say, it's funny that I go on this show and I'm like, you gotta, heads up football and make a play in the big moment, because I almost peed my pants there. So I can't criticize anyone.
A little bit TMI. There. I'm
Mina,
not
let me
surprised,
hold
Mina.
some.
I'm not surprised. You're super smart. I mean, I got the answer correct, too, in our group text. NBD,
No, you didn't, Dan.
But might have Googled it. Might have Googled it.
You absolutely did not. Marcus, what'd you think about Mina?
Listen, summa cum laude, okay?
Yeah, I don't
At a
think you're saying it right,
prestigious
but-
university, she's supposed to know all of the answers to all of the questions that everybody has. I expected nothing less. Great job, Mina. Now send us all a check, because I
No
know Shane
doubt.
broke you off something
Well, guys,
for winning $1 million.
It was for charity.
It was for charity, so I do
know
want to
it was
point.
for
Could
charity.
still send us a check.
I know.
But listen, we'll try to get on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire with Mina, and she'll give us a cut of the money later on. The money was
Hell, we gonna
donated
win
to
$5.
hospitality
We gonna win
workers in
$5.
need. Congratulations, Mina and David Chang. All right, Mahomes and Brady combined for over 800 yards passing, but Mahomes showed something last night that the league hasn't seen in a while. Is he the clear-cut favorite for MVP? Keep it locked here on NFL Live.
Game Picks is brought to you by T-Mobile. With 5G coverage in all 50 states, T-Mobile keeps you in the game with Monday Night Pick'em on the ESPN Fantasy app. T-Mobile, America's largest 5G network.
Coming this week on Monday Night Countdown, before the Eagles and Seahawks square off in Philly, we're going one-on-one with Russell Wilson.
You have to get lost in the moment, to give everything you have every day. That's one of the greatest gifts that I could leave to myself and to this game.
Plus,
He just got mossed.
Randy ranks the week's best catches, and we reveal the moments that have our guys saying,
Come on, man.
kick off your Monday with Countdown at 6 p.m. Eastern, followed by the Seahawks and Eagles at 8 on ESPN.
Each Monday here on NFL Live, we'll put a spotlight on the high school football coach of the week. This week, the Philadelphia Eagles selected Coach Dwayne Savage from Camden High School in Camden, New Jersey. And during his 23-year career, Coach Savage has mentored 3 NFL players, 25 D1 student athletes. Since taking over at Camden High School in 2012, he's led the Panthers to a 62-25 record. For more on tonight's game, let's bring in Lisa Salters on the call there in Philadelphia, and reports yesterday that Carson Wentz has been losing some first-team QB reps in practice to rookie Jalen Hurts. What did Doug Peterson have to say about this, Lisa?
Well, Laura, we talked with Doug Peterson yesterday just after that report surfaced, and Peterson said it was nothing unusual that Hurts is and has been a part of the game plan all season, and that he got no more or less reps than he normally would this week. Peterson insists nothing has changed, that Carson Wentz is still 100% the quarterback of this Eagles team. Peterson said he gets it, that in Philly it's all about the head coach and the quarterback. When you win, there's praise, and when you lose, the heat's on you. Peterson understands that, but says it is full steam ahead with Carson Wentz. And to Carson's credit, he has not shied away from questions about the team's losing record or about his play this season. Entering the week, Wentz led the league in interceptions, sacks, and fumbles. He said everyone on the team is frustrated, but they all know that they can still win the division. Everyone has written us off, Wentz told us, but we are still confident. Laura?
Lisa, we'll see you and the crew in about 3 hours on Monday Night Football right here on ESPN. Time now for some game picks. Looks like we're all on the Seahawks tonight. So, Mino, go to you. What's one thing you're watching for?
I want to see if the Seahawks defense can sustain the momentum of the last 2 games. Can they continue to get pressure without blitzing? Carlos Dunlap has been great. Can the return of Shaquille Griffin, their best cornerback, make a difference in their pass coverage? That's what I want to see, because that's what's going to keep them from being a Super Bowl team if they don't stay on top of it.
Yeah, we'll also see what Russell Wilson and DK Metcalf look like tonight. But how about another quarterback-receiver combo, Mahomes and Tyreek Hill?
Gunning it long, Tyreek Hill pulls it in. Tyreek Hill over the shoulder. He backflips into the end zone. Touchdown!